What's up, guys? Hey, how we doing? I'm back. I got a little video today. I want to talk a little bit about Cochran, who's doing amazing in the amateurs, but I think he's being mismanaged, and this could come back to bite them big time, and it sucks to see this happening and just kind of watching it play out. I want to talk a little bit about Beta. Beta has signed Colt Nichols, and I want to see how they're approaching things versus how Triumph is approaching things. I actually really like what Beta's doing. I want to talk a little bit about some of these future stars, or that's what they trying to sell them as at Loretta Lynn's. Mark Phineas, or Phineas, however you want to say it, Daxton Bennick, and Julian Bomer. But let's get into this thing, guys. But first, check out Complete Med Solutions. You guys know Coach Rob. He has a blood testing. You send it in, got a kit, he'll dial you in with a program specific to you. Epic Garage Designs. Check out Epic Garage Designs, flooring, slat wall, you name it, they have it. Ride Strapped. Check out Ride Strapped. Strap goggles, the patriotic goggle company, they're awesome. Strapped, they're badass. Just go to ridestrap.com, get yourself some We the People or Let's Go Brandon goggles. And then if you guys need to ship anything, hit up Precision Transport. If you want lower prices, better shipping, if you need something that's refrigerated, hit up Precision Transport. So with that, guys, let's get into this.
You need people like me so you can point your fucking fingers and say, that's the bad guy.
All right, guys, so I'm watching the races yesterday. Cochran draws the 42 chip and charges all the way through the pack on a track that's kind of hard to pass on and wins it. I mean, and he's going against some heavy hitters, Christian Janik, Logan Best, Drew Adams, Aiden Kiefer. There's some fast kids in this class, and this dude flat holds his own and just owns them. But in the second moto, he hurts his shoulder. It pops out. And this is a direct reason, like this is something that happens. He's on the Husqvarna program. This program is everything that the pros do, but he doesn't have a fully matured pro body yet. And when you put a kid on like this, you'll get instant results, but unfortunately, you put them at unnecessary risk, and you see things like this happening. And now I see him come back, and he races, and he battles through it, gets a fifth, which is awesome. The kid can put up with pain, he can suffer, he can work hard, but you're changing his body chemistry at a developmental age. Do you want him to be his very best in the next 2 years, or do you want to see him be his very best over the next 10 years? It's a mortgaging of the future, so to speak. You almost have to do it these days, or the factories don't look at you. And this is where the system's broken. The systems need to look at these kids like Aiden Kiefer, guys that have come through who haven't destroyed their bodies, who are just developing as they turn pro. I think they're going to find they would have a higher success rate in hiring riders if they don't put so much emphasis on winning and put more emphasis on showing race talent, race skill, and don't put these kids on the pro program. I think they're doing Cochran a huge disservice, and they may be shortening his career, and it's such a bummer to see. To see him go back out there after having the shoulder injury, as someone who's had many, many shoulder surgeries. I've had 4 on this one, 4 surgeries on this one, 2 on this one, rotator cuff, labrum, detached bicep. I've had it all. It's not the most painful injury in the world. When it's dislocated, it sucks really bad. As soon as it pops in, you almost feel like you've been fixed. And you're like, oh, I'm good, no problem. But it just, you hit the wrong way, and it just all of a sudden, boom, it comes out again. And that happens more and more and more. And you have to have a stable shoulder to be a professional racer. Look at the guys' careers that have got cut short because of shoulders. Robbie Renard, Adam Cincerillo had major issues with his shoulders. It's a key thing that you don't want to mess around with. For them to send him back out there after they pop it back in, to me, it's just irresponsible. This race does not mean that much. This kid's already on Husqvarna. He's already won a Futures Championship. We've proven. He doesn't have to go out there and prove himself. This isn't his one event to shine. This is an event where he won last year. So to send him out there, I'm sorry, it's just stupid. You shouldn't do it. And then talking about some of these guys at Loretta Lynn's that are going to be superstars. Julian Bomer, Daxton Bennick. And then there's a new kid who's really coming out into his own this weekend, or this week, Mark Phineas. He's been around, he's been the guy, but now he seems to be finding his flow, and this is his year. He's probably going to win the Nicky Hayden Award, at least going into the third motos when we record this. But Does it really mean that much? They've shortened motos. This track is almost like a GNCC track with the ruts. And it sucks to say that, and I don't want to take away from what he's doing because it's awesome. And yes, he's beating these superstars in Bennick and Bomer, but it doesn't really mean a lot. You have to do this more times than just Loretta Lynn's. Mark Phineas has raced there tons of times. I'm sure he's really good at this track, but I need to see more from him. I need to see him do it at some of the combine events, futures events, before I can dub him a superstar. I'm not saying that he might be one of those kids like I talked about, the Aiden Kiefers, or somebody who hasn't been on a pro program and who is just starting to come into their own and get strong. He might be one of those guys. In fact, if any of you guys know him, reach out to him. I'd love to do an interview with him and learn more about Mark Phineas, because I honestly don't know that much about him. I'd like to know his program, where he's at, and how they think. So I'm very happy to see that Beta signed Colt Nichols. Colt Nichols is an extremely talented racer. He's a Supercross champion in the 250 class. And he's a guy who really hasn't got an opportunity on the 450. Yes, he rode with Honda last year, but he was an afterthought. He was not really a guy racing for a ride. He just happened to be on the bike when Ken Roxon left and they needed to fill in until Jet got there. He really just kept the seat warm. It wasn't a true opportunity. What he's got with Beta is he's got a 2-year opportunity. Yes, they're going to struggle. It's a brand new bike, but this company, the way they're coming in, Carlin Gardner, you guys remember that name? Carlin Gardner, former Supercross racer, journeyman, and somebody who works really hard, is in charge of that program. This program is going to be good, and I'm really excited to see what Benny Bloss and Colt Nichols can do on this bike. The reason I say that is the Beta is a forgiving bike to ride. They're comfortable, and on today's 450s, you don't need a ton of power. The power's there. You can almost take a stock bike and compete. Ty Masterpool's proving that. So it's more about finding a chassis you feel comfortable with. And I'm excited to see that, because the Beta, if nothing else, is confidence inspiring and comfortable. I haven't ridden their actual race bike or anything, but I'm just basing it off their off-road models. If you ride any of their off-road models, the bikes inspire confidence. So I'm excited about that. And I think that they're doing a better job, and they're going to have more success coming into the pros than Triumph. Triumph is making some critical errors when they're doing their marketing. They're smart to leak pieces and try and go viral, but the way they're doing it, almost as a press release, takes away that element of it's going viral. If they honestly just leak out some photos. You don't have to have Ricky Carmichael go up there, and he's so unlikable when he does it, and just leak those things out there. I mean, and look at the hate that he's getting over it. It's ridiculous. Either if you're the factory and you have it, show it. If you want to let it spy photos leak, send them to the other outlets and don't make them look professional. And it's a huge miss. The other miss is coming into the 250 class. The 250 class is so much harder to start a race team because you have to have this motor, this chassis, you have to have this whole package, you have younger riders. They're not as good at developing the bike. I just think it's going to be hard. But they do have Bobby Hewitt. And if you listen to the show with Johnny, Coach, and Travis that we did over on Johnny's channel, we talked a lot about Bobby Hewitt and his ability to develop talent. And it's undeniable. But he's up against it, and it depends on how much Triumph lets him be him. So anyway, guys, that's it. Remember, subscribe, and I will catch you later.